Well, hello again. Today is December 3rd, and there's 22 days left until Christmas. Getting exciting. So for today's reading, we're gonna read the book called The Wild Toboggan Ride. That looks pretty fun. Look at the little doggy on the toboggan. Okay, here we go. The afternoon was crisp and quiet. Nikki pulled her long toboggan to the top of the hill where Grandpa Dan was standing, tapping his boot in the snow. "Come along," he frowned. "I'm chilled to the bone." "Fiddlesticks to snow." "Please, Grandpa Dan, just one more ride," pleaded Nikki. Look at, there he is tapping his toe in the snow. He was cold. He wanted to go home. Everyone else looks like they're having a good time. "Oh, fiddlesticks," sniffed Grandpa Dan. "Nasty weather." "Will you push me, please?" Nikki begged. "Phooey, this is the last one then." Grandpa Dan leaned over to give Nikki a tiny push on her long toboggan. As he bent over, he stepped on the extra long scarf and his foot slipped. Bump, oomph, crash. Grandpa Dan landed on the back of the long toboggan with Nikki on his lap. Uh-oh, look it, he fell on the toboggan and they're heading downward. Uh-oh. Look at there, they're on the toboggan. "Yahoo!" yelled Nikki. "Good grief," gasped Grandpa Dan. "How do you steer this thing?" Down the hill they went, gathering speed with Grandpa Dan's extra long scarf flapping in the wind. "Yahoo!" Nikki yelled again. Look, she's having a great time. But he doesn't know how to steer that toboggan. There's the dog running after him. They reached the bottom of the hill, and the toboggan swerved left. "Whoa!" sputtered Grandpa Dan from behind his extra long scarf. "I can't see a thing." Bump, oomph, crash. The baker crossing the street landed on top of Grandpa Dan and Nikki. "Good grief, move up," yelled Grandpa Dan. "What on earth are you doing, Dan?" asked the baker. "Trying to steer this confounded contraption. Move your head, I can't see a thing." Along the street zoomed Grandpa Dan, Nikki, and the baker, all on the long toboggan. Look at them all. Look at all the donuts the baker spilled on the road. Oh, look, the dog even got one. Uh-oh. Bump, oomph, crash. The barber, locking up his shop, landed on top of the baker. "Heavens, find your own spot," said the baker. "Quiet down up there, I can't see a thing," yelled Grandpa Dan. Along the street and into the park went Grandpa Dan, Nikki, the baker, and the barber, all on the long toboggan. Oh my gosh, look at all those people on that toboggan. And it still hasn't stopped. But Nikki sure is having a good time. And the dog, everybody's laughing at them as they go by. It's funny. Pages are stuck. Here we go. Bump, oomph, crash. The police chief was on his way home from work, landed on top of the barber. "Get your foot off my head," said the barber. "Wowza, Dan, do you have a license for this thing?" asked the police chief. "Move up, we're getting squished back here," called the baker. Through the park whizzed Grandpa Dan, Nikki, the baker, the barber, and the police chief, all on the long toboggan. Look at all of them. Boom, oomph, crash. The mail carrier with her bag of letters landed on top of the police chief. "Sorry, Chief," said the mail carrier. "Get your mailbag off my lap and sit down," said the police chief. "This is my spot." "Good grief," Grandpa Dan yelled. "With everybody dancing around up there, I can't see a thing." Out of the park and onto the frozen lake went Grandpa Dan, Nicky, the baker, the barber, the police chief, and the mail carrier, all on the long toboggan. Look, they're heading out onto the lake. There's a kid playing hockey out on that lake, that frozen lake. I bet he was surprised when they came on that toboggan. Bump, oomph, crash. Oh, a hockey player landed on top of the mail carrier. He was really, really scared, huh? Penalty, yelled the hockey player. Interference. Oh, be quiet, said the mail carrier. Everybody hold on, yelled Grandpa Dan. Yahoo, cried Nicky. Over the ice and straight toward a snowbank went Grandpa Dan, Nicky, the baker, the barber, the police chief, the mail carrier, and the hockey player, all on the long toboggan. Look how long that thing is. And there's the dog running after him. That's a long toboggan. Bump, oomph, crash. The toboggan flew into the snowbank, and suddenly bodies were tumbling in every direction. Hats, gloves, scarves soared through the air. Grandpa Dan and Nicky landed in a bush. The baker and the barber landed in a tree. The police chief and the mail carrier and the hockey player landed in a garbage can. Look at all that stuff flying all over. He really crashed. For a moment, nobody moved. Everything was quiet. Then Grandpa Dan and Nicky crawled out of the bushes. The baker and the barber climbed out of the tree. The police chief, the mail carrier, and the hockey player jumped out of the garbage can. Grandpa Dan grabbed the toboggan and began to run across the ice, his extra long scarf slapping behind him. The baker, the barber, the police chief, the mail carrier, and the hockey player looked at each other. Then they started running too. Well, gosh, they don't look afraid anymore. They look happy. Wonder what's happening. Wait, Grandpa Dan, where are you going? Yelled Nicky. If we hurry, he called back, we can get in one more ride before dark. He wasn't in such a hurry to get home after he rode on that toboggan. He had a good time. See, if you just join in the fun, you'll have a good time. That was a lot of fun. That was a good book. And I thank you for joining me. I see you tomorrow.